A video has taken the internet by storm, captivating millions of viewers. It shows a young woman walking down a busy street when she suddenly stops, mesmerized by a sound that seems to come out of nowhere. Her expression shifts dramatically, as if something profound has touched her soul. Without warning, she drops to her knees, right there on the street, and begins sobbing uncontrollably. Passers-by freeze, trying to make sense of the scene unfolding in front of them. What could have happened to this young woman? What could have moved her to tears in such a way? The answer leaves everyone stunned. The woman, clearly a foreigner, sits in the middle of the road, oblivious to the world around her. Her tears flow freely as though an invisible force has overtaken her. Bystanders, concerned for her safety, approach cautiously.
Okay, mate? Are you okay? Do you like the Quran? It makes you...
Worried she might be hurt or experiencing some sort of mental breakdown. As more people gather, someone steps closer and gently asks if she is okay. Her response is baffling. She points toward the direction of a sound, soft, rhythmic, and otherworldly. It was the recitation of the Quran, echoing from a distant speaker. Her voice quivers as she says,
Really?
"I don't understand the words, but they're doing something to me. I can't explain it. It's like they're speaking directly to my heart." This admission catches everyone off guard.
You can't deny
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
You have to let out, innit? Because you know it's something that is love.
Yeah.
How could a young woman with no exposure to the Quran or Islam be so deeply affected? She had never heard these words before, yet they seemed to unravel something deep within her. She continues to sob, saying, "These words, they feel like magic. They've wrapped around my soul, and I can't stop crying." At first, the people around her suspect she might be struggling with personal issues. In the West, mental health challenges are widespread. Many individuals, particularly the youth, suffer from depression and anxiety. Some, unable to find peace, resort to self-harm or suicide. It is not uncommon to see people breaking down in public, weighed down by the burdens they carry. The man speaking to her initially assumed she might be one of those lost souls. Perhaps she had reached a breaking point, and sitting in the middle of the road was her way of giving up. But as she continues to speak, it becomes clear that this is no ordinary emotional outburst. She explains that moments before hearing the Quran's recitation, her mind was clouded with darkness. "I've been struggling for so long," she admits. "My parents separated, and I live with my grandparents, who are not kind to me. I work part-time to support myself, but when I return home, they take my money and fight with me. I feel like I'm drowning, and I don't know what to do." Her voice cracks as she recounts the pain she has endured. "I was kicked out of the house today. They told me I was a burden and pushed me out the door. I felt so lost, so worthless. I was walking with no destination, just wandering, trying to make sense of my life. And then I heard this sound." She pauses, as if still processing what she experienced. The words, I couldn't understand them, but they reached somewhere deep inside me. It was as if they were telling me everything would be okay, that I wasn't alone. It felt like the answer I've been searching for, but didn't know I needed. The crowd around her listens in stunned silence. It is hard to believe that a few verses of the Quran could have such a profound impact on someone who had never encountered Islam before. She describes how the reciter's voice seemed to wrap around her heart, easing her pain and offering comfort she didn't think was possible. "It was like a light piercing through the darkness," she says, wiping tears from her face. "I've never felt anything like it." The bystanders exchange glances, unsure of what to say. In Western societies, religion often takes a back seat, and spiritual experiences like these are rare. Many young people grow up disconnected from faith, searching for meaning in material things, but finding only emptiness. It is no wonder that the girl's encounter with the Quran feels nothing short of miraculous to those around her. She continues to speak, her voice filled with awe and wonder. "When I heard the translation in English, I was stunned. It felt as if the words were written specifically for me, as if they knew the questions I had been carrying in my heart for so long. Questions about life, about purpose, about why we suffer. Tears stream down her face as she says, "I can't explain it, but I know this is the truth. It's like the words of the Quran are alive, like they have a power beyond anything I've ever known. I want to know more about this. I need to understand what it is that has touched me so deeply." The sincerity in her voice is undeniable. It is clear that this experience has shaken her to the core, awakening something within her that she didn't even know was there. She expresses a desire to study Islam, to learn more about the faith that has brought her this unexpected peace. "I feel like I've found something I didn't even know I was searching for," she says softly. "I want to explore it. I want to see where this path leads." Her words leave a lasting impression on everyone who hears them. They serve as a powerful reminder that guidance can come from the most unexpected places. When Allah decides to open someone's heart to the truth, no obstacle can stand in the way. Whether on a mountaintop, by the sea, or in the middle of a bustling street, the light of guidance can find its way to anyone, anywhere. The young woman's experience mirrors the journeys of many others in the West who have found solace in Islam after a lifetime of searching. Though born into different faiths or no faith at all, they stumble upon the Quran and discover a peace they never thought possible. They abandon their old ways and embrace Islam, despite the challenges they face from family and society. For those born into Muslim families, stories like these serve as a humbling reminder of the blessings they often take for granted. It is easy to be swayed by the allure of Western lifestyles, but beneath the surface, many people in these societies are deeply unhappy. They search for meaning in things that ultimately leave them feeling empty. And yet, when they encounter the Quran, everything changes. The words of Allah touch their hearts in ways they never imagined, drawing them toward a faith they once knew nothing about. It is a powerful testament to the truth of Islam that the words of the Quran are not just ordinary words, but a divine message with the power to heal, comfort, and guide. As the young woman wipes away her tears, she whispers, "I feel like my heart has found its home." Her journey has only just begun, but she knows deep down that she is on the right path. The crowd watches in silence, moved by her story and the undeniable power of the Quran's words. Some capture the moment on their phones, but the girl remains oblivious to it all, her focus entirely on the peace she has found. This story is a reminder that the remembrance of Allah is not just for believers. It is a universal message that resonates with every soul, whether they know it or not. As Allah says in the Quran, "Indeed, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest." Quran 13:28. For this young woman, the journey toward that peace began unexpectedly, in the middle of a busy street, with the sound of a recitation that spoke to her soul. What makes this moment even more poignant is how unexpected it was. The woman wasn't actively searching for faith. Rather, faith found her in her darkest moment. When she thought she was on the verge of collapse, a divine message wrapped itself around her soul, offering her peace she didn't even know existed. It is these unplanned, unscripted encounters that hold the most power, proving that when Allah decides to guide someone, nothing can stand in the way, not even their own ignorance of the message.